All right, Larry, so we're off in a quieter, more secluded room with is Matt here, right?
Yep, Matt Gilsrud. He's our production supervisor. He's actually been with the company since the prototype stages back, was it 99 maybe, 2000?
Yep, 2000.
And we started production as sellable products in February of 2001. So Matt has probably, outside of Matt McPherson, a larger knowledge and understanding of the evolution of a McPherson guitar, where we started, why the changes were made, since he was the one who actually made them per Matt's direction. But this is his little happy place. It's his setup room, quiet.
What are your happy place, Matt? Matt, does that mean that you have basically worked in every station in the factory at one time or another, or maybe still do?
Yeah, I just have to get an understanding of it, of all the processes, and we kind of cross-train. Most everybody here is cross-trained in areas to where they can jump in at different points and do different aspects of the building.
So what are you working on right now? Filing a bridge?
Yes, right now all the guitars have 3 separate custom cut saddles. They're all Feitenized using the Buzz Feiten Intonation System. So here I'm just hand filing the intonation cutbacks into each saddle.
They're actually serial numbered per guitar. So they're hand shaped per individual guitar.
Wow.
So these 3 saddles will not sound properly in another guitar outside of the one that's numbered on the back.
So how many sorts of measurements do you have to take of the guitar itself in order to assure that it works, it's optimized for that instrument?
Quite a few. We're taking measurements from the nut to the saddle. We're also measuring each cutback with. There's a certain formula that is used in the Buzz Feiten system. So there's 6 different measurements there. Then we multiply that times the 3 saddles. So there's 18 different cutbacks that are made for each guitar.
I'm sure there's a lot of going back and forth between some very accurate tuner to make sure it's intonated.
Yeah, we're using a piano strobe tuner in order to get our measurements. So yeah, it's a very accurate tuner. Each cutback, the measurements are cut to we try and get within a couple thousandths of an inch. Your ear can actually hear 10 thousandths of an inch equals 1 cent for an intonation cutback. So your ear will actually hear that. So we have to, be within for sure the 10 thousandths of an inch when we are making those cutbacks. So the file point will be scribed on there with a very sharp point, and then we'll color that in with pencil. And then you just file right up to that leading edge of the scribe mark on the bone saddle.
Very meticulous. How long does that typically take for one guitar?
It's about a 2-hour process per guitar. And that includes polishing the frets, slotting the nut, and getting that height correctly, then setting up the 3 different heights of saddles, a low, a medium, and a high saddle with all the cutbacks. It's about a 2-hour process for each guitar.
Oh, and you include all 3 of them with the guitar so that the player can decide which type of action they prefer?
Right. Yeah, with our we have a non-adjustable truss rod, so in order to change the action, you can swap out the different saddles. Also, they're also useful for humidity changes. If there are different humidity changes, the body and the top.
The structure of the body, but not the neck.
Yeah, the top will actually swell or contract, with temperature and humidity change. So by supplying different saddles, that allows the end user to then adjust his action no matter what time of season it is, whether it's the fall or winter or summertime, depending on the changes to the actual guitar itself.
It's amazing how much goes into these guitars. It's truly, wow.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but the end result is well worth it. And customers can, if they have particular strings that they use, if it's specific to their style of playing, or if they
fret wire,
or action height, we can accommodate all of that for them.
What are the standard bridge pins?
Those are ebony bridge pins.
Is that on all the models, or just you can? I'm sure you can custom order whatever you want. But
We've used bone, walrus tusk, and rosewood, ebony. But for the just standard model, probably 90% of the guitars will get an ebony board, ebony bridge, and ebony bridge pins as well.
all right, Larry. So the final step here is, you call it the resting room.
This is our resting room. Again, the whole building is 70 degrees, 44% humidity. This room, we just had some space for it. It felt a smaller room. We could control it with doors opening and closing throughout the shop here. So what the resting room does is, these guitars, it's 6 months start to finish. These are about 4.5 months old when they get totally assembled. We string them up, we hang them here, and they're tuned up. So we allow that top to flex. The entire body is now acclimating under
To all the different
finished
pressures,
string
pulling and
tensions,
pushing on it.
and you can really see the thickness of the depths of the bodies at this angle too. We have 3.5, 4.5. All of our guitars are 4 inches across the top here because of the cantilever. So we go either down to 3, out to 5.5-inch increments. So they will sit here for a full 30 days. The paperwork that's actually on these has a yellow line on it. And this particular guitar is for Jake Owen. Got his name there.
Hey, Jake.
Hey, Jake. That's the serial number, 2,266. E means celebrity endorsement. But that is how many guitars we have built in 13 years, 2,266. Not including prototypes. Those are serial sellable guitars. And what this mainly does, it gives us the due date. So November 8th, 2013, this guitar goes back to the shop. We don't have the slots cut in the nut yet. So we have a temporary piece that slides on felt with some
Because
Velcro.
the slots, if they'd been cut earlier, they might not be in the right spot for how the wood is settled,
Yep.
basically.
Yeah, so we let it set 30 days, and then this will come off. It goes into a plec machine, which locates everything. The saddle, this has a colored piece on it, which means it's just a neutral saddle, generic in a sense, just so we can string it up. So
And that's when Matt would construct
the
the.
3 custom saddles, and then he does the feetonizing up here and whatnot.
Now, what if someone really wanted their guitar, like, oh, I know it's pretty much done. I don't want it to sit there for 30 days. I just want to get it now. Would you be like, no, it won't be a McPherson if it doesn't sit here for 30 days?
Ever. We do have guitars in dealers around the world. Again, they're limited because of our small numbers, and a third of our sales being direct custom orders. So there's not a lot of guitars, 100 a year that might make it out to a dealer. When they call us, I have all that inventory because they're consigned guitars. I know what's in each store. So I just tell them this is where the guitar is. This is how much it cost. Here's the directions. So they have that information. They can buy it direct instantly if that's what they want. They don't want to wait. Again, it's the same money to have us build it. So we don't sway them one way or the other. It's just if you want it, here it is. But if you want to really take your time and get to pick your own piece of wood and come on up here and do it, we'll spend the entire day with them. They can, meet the builders. They can choose their woods, play more models that they can get in most of the dealers. So, for that kind of money, we're just trying to give them as much as we possibly can.
All right, Larry. So before we go, we wanted to take a look at 3 of the remaining custom shop instruments that you guys have. You were talking earlier about the custom shop, and I think when a lot of guitarists have this sense of, well, custom shop is this separate thing and it's like going all the time. But for you guys, there's 11 employees who are splitting their time between all these different things. So it's not like, there might be hundreds of custom shop instruments per year, like some, we can think of other custom shops where that could be the case. So you guys have 3 in-house right now. Tell us about what we're looking at right here.
This, again, we have 6 builders. There's 11 employees, but 6 are actual luthiers. We like to incorporate the workers into every part of our business and give them a big say, especially in the custom shop, because that's where their passion is. That's where they went to school to learn how. So Eric, one of our builders, again, with our encouragement to come up with ideas, he came to me and he said, you know what, I was going through a Newsweek magazine and I saw an article on Picasso's guitar works from 1912, 1913. And he said, wouldn't that be kind of cool to take that artwork and embed it into the back of one of our Picasso, which we call this one the Picasso Camriel guitar. And since Eric came up with the idea, I said, well, guess who gets to build it? This whole project is yours. So obviously, he's going to give his ultimate in this. This guitar took about 10 months to build. He still had to build his regular orders, too. The inlay on the back took 74 hours. Nothing is dyed. It's all natural wood colors, reproducing the actual painting. So altogether, there are 425 pieces throughout the entire guitar, inside bracing and whatnot. Brazilian rosewood, and the only thing we changed from the Picasso was the McPherson hole. This is actually a straight hole. There's a half of a hole instead of a...
in the original painting.
Yeah, in the original painting. And he saw the painting. I bought one off of eBay, a $75 print, so he could see the actual colors. And he chose the woods that best represented those colors. And we just, again, gave him the freedom, give it to me when it's done.
Oh, that's incredible.
So he went on up, little pieces there. He went with the etched Waverly tuner keys, Brazilian on the back of the head cap there. And then he wanted to get a little unique. Again, he was speaking with the other builders here. So the neck on this guitar, normally they're African mahogany. This is Spanish cedar because Picasso was a Spaniard. So we just tried to incorporate, the spirit of Picasso the best we can into one individual piece. Picasso was a foreigner, in a sense, European, Italian spruce, top, highly figured. The only piece we had. So this is one-of-a-kind guitar, the bridge, the fingerboard, the inlays, the serial number label inside is custom of a Picasso. It's a project done out of love for what they do and giving them the freedom just to create, whatever they dream of, in a sense. And the head cap also has a little uniqueness. He put the McPherson sound hole cutaway into a flamed redwood top in there, which is kind of on some of our catalogs right there. It's $35,000, and we do have several people interested in purchasing it right now. This here is a new guitar. Again, these are one-of-a-kind, like the Picasso Camriel model with the Florentine cutaway, smaller body. This we call the Nautical. Again, in speaking with all our builders, what's next, guys? One a year, basically, of what we do with these limited editions. So we, with the Pirates of the Caribbean type theme, tall ship themes in Winona, Minnesota nearby, they had the tall ships down there. People got interested, got excited about things like that. So we chose to do a tall ship type nautical themed guitar. The top on this is Adirondack red spruce. Coming with the ebony binding, it just seems to look classy on certain models. The bridge is actually Brazilian rosewood with pieces of fossilized woolly mammoth tusk overlaid. We actually split it. You see 4 different directions. Starts in the center, so we have that way, this way, and this way. And then we commissioned Bob Herbert, I believe, or Hegert. He does inlay out in Oregon, and this is a old world map, all hand scrimshawed onto there. Our inlay artist, Mike, I told him I wanted something, so he created a nautical compass. Flamed maple, pieces of ebony, all done by hand.
And what are the fretboard inlays? And
fretboard is Brazilian rosewood. Got a beautiful curl to it. We actually polished this one. We buffed it to a shine to give it just a unique look. And these are more fossilized woolly mammoth tusk inserts or fret markers we put in. We didn't have the inlay done at the time of the ship. And when I got this piece back from Bob, I said, man, that's pretty sick. I mean, the detail is crazy. And I looked at the guitar. I said, I think if we took that ship and put it here, and as it sails away, the ship gets smaller, but also the sun is setting as it goes. And the clouds are darkening with the horizon. And he actually sent me a picture of this last fret, how detailed it was under 25-time magnification. And that flag up on top with the pirate's face is still in here.
oh my gosh,
It's
incredible.
just incredible. I think this is our best one-of-a-kind guitar that we built, just because the detail is so crazy on this thing.
How much is this one going to go for?
This is $50,000. Again, this is our 1776 guitar. The 1776 is actually the serial number of the guitar. Again, you saw earlier we're at 2266. So when we were coming up on 1776, we did not have the custom shop yet. So they said, why don't we do something really different? All American wood, which normally you don't have cherry acoustic guitars. So the top is Adirondack, maple binding, maple fingerboard, a cherry and maple bridge. The neck is cherry. Back and sides are cherry. We actually had to buy a board and cut it up ourselves. George Washington cherry we felt was, and then the flame maple. So I was surfing the internet just trying to come up with something different as an art. And I found this fossilized mammoth tusk from Anchorage, Alaska. So I want everything to be American made. The tuner keys, everything in here is American made. So I contacted this individual, and he was able to send me some pieces. And I searched for quite a while to find the inlay artist that we were happy with that could do the scrimshaw work. And we collaborated with Bob on really what we were looking for in a one-of-a-kind piece. And it took us about a year and a half to get this guitar done from start to finish. So we have the American Eagle. Again, it's all freehand scrimshaw. We have a 13-star flag down here. We have two eagles inlaid, scrimshot on the inlaid ivory. This is all done by hand, 1776, just on bone pins. You can't get ivory in a big sheet, obviously. Right. It's a round tusk. So it comes in pieces around the size of your finger, in a sense. So I had Mike, our inlay artist, look at it, and he said, we need to make it look like torn parchment paper, 200 plus years old. So he actually hand cut each piece and put it together like a puzzle with different colors, making it look like parchment paper. And we did all that in-house, and then we sent it out to Bob, and he did the signing of the declaration. He sent us pictures every couple of months. It was too much to do nonstop, too detail. And he got it done, all the faces and whatnot, but the border was left off. So we took some of the main phrases that people know off the declaration and had him scrimshaw that all the way around there. So it really turned out beautiful. And again, just like our builders, we give them the freedom to do what they need to do best, and we gave him the freedom to show us his expertise.
Well, thank you, Larry, for taking the time to show us all this stuff. Where can people go online to find out more and maybe, submit an order or whatever?
Yeah, the McPhersonGuitars.com website has videos of artists, interviews. We have a Facebook page. We have a YouTube channel, a lot of information. The website itself has technology pages where, Matt is describing some of the things he talked to you today. He's showing the necks, talking about sound holes, the thickness of bodies, all in individual videos. So there's lots of information on there that can just help you make a better decision on tone woods, and they can just call us here, at the guitar shop anytime. We love working with people and creating masterpieces that are unique to them.
Obviously.
Yeah. So
it's McPhersonGuitar.com or guitars?
Guitars plural.
McPhersonGuitars.com.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you, sir.
I'm Sean Hammond. Thanks for watching PremierGuitar.com.